What's up, everyone? Welcome to Indeed, the independent wrestling podcast. We're here on Fightful Overbooked in a new home.
Dude, I don't know if I smoked the whole time that we were on our last incarnation, but starting this one, I wanted to be hitting this weed pen to show you what type of time Mike and I are on out here for Indeed. We're getting high. We're watching the best independent wrestling shows, best independent wrestlers, and we're just having the best time. Am I right?
Absolutely. So we're on Fightful Overbooked. You already
Yes.
know who Righteous Reg is.
Oh, that's me.
I'm Mike Hamley.
Mhm.
Yeah, I talk about independent wrestling with Reg.
Yep.
That's most of what I watch. And what better place to do it than on the internet? Everyone's
Yes.
got a podcast, right?
We're continuing our journey called Indeed. Started a little while ago. We had a little bit of a hiatus, but Mike and I were in constant contact almost every day talking wrestling because we are obsessed and we obsessively obsess over everything pro wrestling. So we're always in contact, and we always knew that we were going to bring it back. Changed up the format just a little bit. We're still talking about all the independent wrestling in the world that there is, but we just wanted to make sure to be able to mix it up and have more independent wrestling talked about. Pretty much like our last format was kind of like we talk about one or two big shows, go through those. This time we want to do it to where it's like we each are going to bring you 5 independent wrestling matches from different promotions. That way we can cover a bunch of different bases. We could talk about a bunch of different wrestlers, a bunch of different wrestling promotions, because independent wrestling is super duper hot. Like Mike and I watch an obsessive amount of pro wrestling, and there's still like so much more. You know what I mean? Like we watch a lot and there's still like a million other things that are going on. So we're just going to tell y'all about the dope shit that we like, pretty much.
Yeah, definitely. There's a whole lot happening around the scene, so obviously we'll cover some announcements.
Oh my
There's
God.
been a lot coming out this time of the year, and
Jeez.
an old feature of the show that's sticking around is, of course, the GIF of the week.
Mhm.
We each pick, one of those crazy spot foo.
We'll try not
ridiculous
to
things.
do Kingo and Commander clips every single week. We're gonna try to mix it up. But I mean,
they make it hard though.
They make it so hard. My one of my main matches with Kingo's featured in, and like there was at minimum 10 things that are like blew my mind away. It was crazy. So
Yeah, they're like gift factory humans.
it's ridiculous. They're birthed off that. It's like when we used to play video games back in the day, and we were like, damn, wrestling is crazy. It's like, no, these guys are like actual video game characters. When I see Will Ospreay do some things, when I see Vikingo do some things, I'm like, I used to create video game characters like you guys, and now you're real life. Kenny Omega, like y'all are what we used to spam our wrestlers with all the best moves, and now it's like, no, the real wrestlers are actually like that now.
Kenny Omega is like a human video game character.
Yeah,
like in every right down to presentation though. Like it's very accurate. Yeah, watching Vikingo do shit. It's like when you play Tony Hawk Pro Skater and you do these skate tricks that it's like no one will ever do this.
No one can do that.
No, no one's ever gonna do this on a skateboard. They'll die.
And then
Vikingo, I pray for his life on like half the. If he's diving to the outside, I'm just like, it's hard. Like it's like some of his shit. I watched your match back today from your list, and like I'm watching through my eyes for so much shit.
Seriously, and he didn't even get on anything high this time. Like he was, the top rope was like the highest thing. He usually is like trying to find something crazy to jump off, and he didn't even need that.
Absolutely. So since we're talking about this match, you want to start with it?
Yeah, let's definitely start from there. It's a great way to start the show. Part of GCW's show. Let me get the exact name because it was GCW Don't Talk to Me, the main event. There was some, I don't want to say controversy, but when Vikingo was announced for independent wrestling shows, originally AAA was like, we don't want it to be streamed. Only the people that are live at the shows are able to see the thing. I don't know why they did this. I don't know what was going on. They had a change of heart. They started announcing that anytime Vikingo's featured on a show, now it's going to be streamed. I think this was one of the first ones. Main event of GCW Don't Talk to Me.
Yeah.
The Base God. Of course, if you're going to have Vikingo in a match, like who else do you want him in against? That's a GCW regular. That's somebody that's been down. Gringo Loco's here to have all the catches in the world. The Base God. He's ready. And yeah, so this match was, like I said, at minimum, there's 10 amazing things. Gringo Loco did like a Vikingo did like a spring to the ropes, and then Gringo Loco caught him in like a reverse power slam, sit out power slam, but he's reversed it just that. Like my backyard wrestling self was like, oh my God, I can't believe, like if my 13-year-old me saw that, he'd be like, this is the craziest shit you ever seen. And that's just like one regular move out of the match of the thousands of crazy things Vikingo does. That spot where he jumps to the top rope and then does the flip all the way to the next rope and Gringo catches him and then they roll into the arm drag is like, how do you in your brain think like I'm going to do that and then execute it? Luchadors are living in the year 3023. They're on another, I don't know how their brain processes to do all this crazy shit. The craziest shit that happens regular spots are luchadors. And Vikingo did a whole bunch of them crazy shits right here. He tried to do it imploding Dragon Rana, but things didn't work out. But everything that did work out was crazy. The spot, he set Loco up on a table outside the ring, springboard outside of the ring into a 630 splash, taking Gringo Loco out on the door. Like just repeating that back, I'm like, what, dude? What are you saying to me? Insane.
he blessed himself before he did that. And I'm like, if he's gotta bless himself,
right,
he's gonna do something fucking crazy
exactly.
right now.
If he's blessing himself before his spot, something's about to go
Yeah.
down, and something went down. He's inhuman. I described it as back in the day. I've been watching wrestling for a really long time, Mike. In the mid 90s, when every wrestling wasn't on TV, wrestling, like only thing you could see is WCW and WWF. You would go to the store and get the magazines like The Wrestler, PWI magazine, and they would talk about wrestlers and they would talk about things that you would really want to see. And like in 94, 95, Sabu was like, they would talk about Sabu like you had to see this guy. He was amazing, doing the craziest spots and stunts you'd ever seen in your entire life. And there was just like this aura. And then when you finally saw him and it was like, damn, this is cool. And there's been wrestlers over the year that are like must see. And I'm like, we recommend wrestlers here all the time. Speedball Mike Bailey, Titus Alexander. We could go across the list of people that we recommend. Like you have to see these people. But this guy is on a different level. It's like there's levels to this. And he is 1994 Sabu, like must see. Any show he's on, he's going to do the craziest shit on the show. And it's just a different level of professional wrestler. Somebody that likes spots and crazy shit like me. But Kingo's like the perfect fucking wrestler, man. This match was badass.
Yeah. It was such a fun, like, the way they structured everything, too, because it was like you got 5 minutes, roughly, of just chain wrestling, but like it's still Vikingo and Gringo Loco.
Yeah, it's nuts.
So it's like the wildest lucha version of chain wrestling that you could ask for. And then as soon as that ended, it was just like mind-bending shit.
Right. And I totally gave it up to Vikingo, but always, and I
Gringo
have
Loco,
to.
yeah.
Gringo Loco is insane, dude. That when he oh yeah, for that fucking standing on the top rope, press slam into a sit out press slam that Gringo Loco does. It's like, first of all, you're doing a press slam on the top rope. You're not supposed to be doing that. Like, it's hard enough on the ground to do a press slam on any human in the world, but to be doing it standing on the top rope and then to sit out with it, just give this guy the flowers. I love Gringo Loco, everything that he does. Anytime, he's also the same thing, man. Imagine we know how many amazing 6-man matches he had. We know how many scrambles he's had. We know how many times he's caught people and he slipped onto people. An amazing wrestler. If Gringo Loco was one day GCW world champion, I'd be very excited about it, honestly.
for sure. And it's, he gets a lot of praise being like the base god, but then he's doing so much.
Yeah.
He does everything else still too.
Right. He's like, that's my favorite kind of wrestlers, are the ones that are great on both sides. Like every time I talk about Titus Alexander, like he gives just as great as he takes. You know what I mean? Like Gringo Loco's the base god, and he catches all luchadors, and he catches people for Hurricane Ranas that you shouldn't be able to, and he gets those spots. But then when he's on offense, he's doing some mind-blowing things, some things that I've never seen, some ways that he takes like basic moves and makes them amazing.
Yeah. Fantastic luchadors, fantastic lucha action.
Amazing. GCW, they know, in America, they know how to do lucha libre wrestling. Also, my homies West Coast Pro. We'll talk a little bit about them later, though.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that was GCW. Don't Talk to Me. That's on Fight Plus if you subscribe. So just go watch it.
Oh, yeah. I was going to make a little declaration at the beginning of our pod that most of the stuff is going to be either on Fight Plus or Independent Wrestling TV. That's where we watch like a lot of our wrestling. So if you don't have any of these services and you want to see some badass pro wrestling, Fight TV Plus is crazy, isn't it? Like the amount of just independent wrestling that they have now is pretty top notch. And it's $4.99, bro.
Like so doing the math for me, it's like GCW would do roughly 2 shows every other weekend for the most part.
Sometimes 4.
Sometimes more. And like, they'd like bundle them together for like $30 for the whole weekend or something. But like individually, they'd maybe be like $15 or like $12 or something like that. I'm like, that. Like, okay, so just having, I was like, this, this makes
it's cheaper than one GCW show.
It's crazy
to have it.
So and then that, and then it's like you get like Black Label Pro on there, Wrestling Revolver's on tonight. So,
it's on Fight TV too.
It's on Fight Plus,
Awesome.
Night at the Moxbury's on tonight, and the Wrestling Open's on IWTV right now. Like, so.
Oh, we got to stop going at the same time as Wrestling Open, huh? Sorry, Wrestling Open. Damn, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like independent wrestling. We'll figure it out.
We're gonna talk about you. Like I got matches from you.
Exactly.
Yeah. But what was your next match?
My next match was another great hard-hitting contest. I guess that one wasn't as hard-hitting. I have a couple of hard-hitting ones on my list here today, but it was a wrestling company out here based in the West Coast. I'm always going to give it up to my West Coast homies because that's just what I do.
I know
I'm always going to do it. Prestige Wrestling, they've been doing some amazing things. We've seen them. They're traveling. They became one of probably top 5 independent wrestling companies right now. The things that they're doing. This match right here, accompanied on a pretty great show. They did a lot of great things. The Robert Martyr and Kid Bandit match on this show is so fun. We're going to talk more about Robert Martyr, but I'm super excited that while I was recording Ask Gracity, I get a message from Mike that's like, look at this match. And I'm like, what the fuck is this match? Robert Martyr against Minoru Suzuki. We'll talk more about it, but that's insane.
Yeah,
that's like
so happy to see
that. Feels like just how I felt about Nick Wayne and Will Ospreay. It feels like the exact same thing of like, like how could you? They never thought they would have a match in this position, and here it is, like on a platter. So, but back to what I was saying.
Big W for Robert Martyr.
Oh, super huge W. Prestige Wrestling, a guy that I'm super excited about all the time. I actually got to interview him at the last West Coast Pro that's going to come very soon in PWI. Kevin Blackwood, an amazing talent, one of the most decorated independent wrestlers right now, always in a high profile match. Everybody wants to wrestle Kevin Blackwood. He is, when there was a thing with, Daniel Garcia and he was attached to that Buffalo Boys. They got in a car accident. Shout out to the homies for recovering from that. When Daniel Garcia went up to AEW, it was kind of like, well, what's going to happen with Kevin Blackwood? People kind of thought he would get lost in the shuffle maybe. And he like totally did the opposite. He was like, no, I'm badass too. Like I'm just as good as Daniel Garcia is. And I think he's been showing with the last year that pretty much like he hasn't missed in any of the matches that I saw. I've seen a bunch of matches live at West Coast Pro, and and all over the independent wrestling Garden State. He's done some great things. Like, he hasn't missed yet. So this match right here, though, was, oh my God, this is one of my favorite matches that I've seen in the last month, against Mao from DDT Pro. Mao is doing some. There's Japanese wrestling is so crazy how many amazing different wrestlers are in different regions that do totally different things. Like, the best number one wrestler is Okada. He runs Japanese wrestling. He's the god of pro wrestling. But like, everybody either right next to him or underneath them are amazing, and they do totally different things than he does. And like, this is right here on display that, like, a lot of people associate DDT with just like, crazy wrestling. They do a lot of wild stuff. Like, they have they're alternative Japanese wrestling, but they have a bunch of hitters and a bunch of guys that are ready to destroy and tear things down. And this match right here, Kevin Blackwood, when he likes these high pressure moments. When I talked to him, he said that getting to Japan was a big step for him. Like, next up, like, that's what he wants to do, is go to Japan. So this was a test right here against a Japanese stud. These guys beat each other's ass all over the place. They're striking. They are taking each other to the ground. They're on the outside brawling. Blackwood's giving up the kicks. Mao's doing some the way that he gets in and out of moves is very unique. It's like,
so crazy.
Like, I don't, you don't see a lot of wrestlers that have movements like this. It's like, sometimes when I describe Fred Yehai, how he gets in and out of spots, it's like, there's some unique wrestlers that I love that give attention to detail like this. And this guy's an attention to detail type wrestler. Like, everything that he does is like meticulously put together. And he really shined right here in this match. My gift of the week is an insane spot from this match. Mao hits a Hurricane Rana into a Phoenix Splash that looks almost effortless. When people say that things and people do things effortless, you're like, oh yeah, okay. But no, this is like just how we talked about Kingo, how you like sprung up to the ropes and like just lived off those ropes is amazing. I think we're gonna drop that right here, show you guys exactly what happened in this crazy.
I ran that too early. I had a trick. My trigger finger on my mouse got too itchy.
That's what happens when you got stoners running things. Thanks a lot.
Right. I'll play the GIF.
Yes.
Oh, we get to talk over this one because it has no sound.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. So here it is. Like, that Phoenix Splash is like, I remember seeing Hayabusa do the Phoenix Splash in like 1998 and just being like, my teenage mind couldn't process how this was happening. Like, seeing the 450 splash and then seeing the evolution of the 450 splash, and to see the evolution up to the 450 splash to where guys are doing things like this is just tremendous. I'm loving this recent Prestige Wrestling is going pretty crazy with it, with this excursion of all these great Japanese wrestlers. Like, there's like wrestlers that we didn't think we'd ever be able to see as live like this, because a lot of us aren't ever going to be in Japan, and they're like, no, they're here in Portland or they're here in LA or wherever, you know what I mean? Like, I'm seeing people at West Coast Pro in the small stateroom in South San Francisco that I never thought I'd see. So it's been amazing for wrestling as a whole, that we get to see these people and we get to see the evolution of pro wrestlers on their way up, because some of these guys and girls and people are going to go on to become the greatest of all times. And this is how, when Great Muda and Ultimo Dragon and Jushin Thunder Liger were coming up, this is how they did it too. They were coming to America, wrestling in Knoxville, Tennessee, and wrestling in Memphis, and wrestling in wherever they could, you know what I mean? Like, wherever they can hone their craft. So it's been great to see. This match is amazing. This whole show is great. Prestige Wrestling has a bunch of amazing things coming up. WrestleMania weekend, they got some big shows going on. They're going to have a monstrous year, honestly.
Yeah. And like, talking about some of the matchups they brought in, they had Takeshita and Lee Moriarty.
Yep.
The result last year, which was
one of the matches of the year.
Bananas. Miyu Yamashita has been there so many times. She's coming back
She's
for
almost a regular at this point. That's how long
yeah,
she's been here.
yeah, like she was coming out for Roseland last year, and it was like, holy shit, she's coming. And I feel like she's been there a few times now
Yeah.
since, and yeah, she's wrestling Taya Valkyrie, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, they just announced tonight, Minoru Suzuki and Robert Martyr, which
insane.
That's crazy.
I can't even. I'm still trying to process it. I need to get to see what Rob is, how he's feeling, because I'm sure. As Robert Martin is so funny, man. I know, like right now, he's pacing wherever he is in life. He's pacing somewhere, just thinking about all the things he could do in this match. Sure, he has a notebook out right now, just like
he's going to be watching Minoru Suzuki matches non-stop. He already probably does, so
yeah, he's amazing, man.
He's constantly watching. So
he's a student of the game, and he's gonna show. This match means so much to him. Like, people don't understand.
I can't wait to see this.
But I'm sure he'll show him. So that's cool.
Yeah, Prestige.
Yeah. Prestige Wrestling. Please
keep up with the cards.
Please.
That was Prestige Wrestling's Vendetta. It's on IWTV. Go watch the replay.
Yeah, they
very easy to find.
Super easy to find. They are, like I said, they're gonna have a monster year this year, so I'm super excited about Prestige Wrestling. My next match was a tag team match from a company. I've been wanting to give it up to Action Wrestling, like, and on a grand scale, because I feel like the things that they've been doing for so many years have been great. Like, I don't know why I feel like I owe them something. Like, nobody owes anybody anything, but I want everybody in the world to know about Action Wrestling, just because the things that they've done there with like AC Mack and how they developed him, and all the things that they've done to kind of be a springboard for wrestlers and not really get the recognition that they should, I think has gone. They need to get the love that they deserve. So very soon here, they'll get the love that they deserve, I think.
Some of the finest matches that I've watched in the last 12 months have come out of Action Wrestling. Like Anthony Henry versus Alex Shelley was insane.
The thing that Adam Priest is doing out there, dude.
Adam Priest is killing it. Like, their young crop of dudes too, though, like Rico Gonzalez, Brogan Finley.
Yep.
This tag match that we're going to talk about now, like, we had Culture Inc. and the Skulk.
Yeah, Culture Inc. and the Skulk. Culture Inc. is... I was watching this match just smiling the whole way through, just because I'm so excited about this young tag team. They are so cool, man. They are everything that I dreamed of. As somebody who makes a list about 500 black wrestlers, they are when I started this list, that tag team is what I wanted the world to eventually be like. And so to see the things that Malik and Eli do as a tag team, how they put things together, Eli jumps so fucking high.
They're a video game. You
described that moonsault from that he did at the Wrestling Open show to me.
Yes.
And I went and watched it, and I was like, how do you, you're a hazard at this point, like, with how high you're jumping, like, you're going to knock the ceiling out.
If that place had a chandelier, or if that was at the stateroom.
Oh, you can't. No.
You can't,
he can't flip in here.
No, he's got to have, he has to turn the anti-gravity cheats off to go wrestle in the stateroom.
You just gotta. He would have to just flip from the apron or something, because you can't get on the ropes, dude. Because any more spring you add to this is just bad news.
And they're both. What was cool about this match for me was both teams even went. I'm not too familiar with the Skulk. This was kind of a little more of an introduction to them for me.
Yeah, I think the Skulk actually, they trained under AR Fox. I think they're a couple of AR Fox's students, which, as we know,
that makes
AR
sense.
Fox, you could kind of see it when it kind of put it together when I say it out loud.
Oh
yeah. As we know, AR Fox is one of the best, most tremendous trainers and teachers that they are that we have out here is featured now on AEW. Gonna have an amazing match next week that I'm gonna cry watching. But yeah, I think they trained under AR Fox, Liam Gray, and Adrian Atlantis. Very tremendously seasoned guys already because they've had a couple shots on AEW Dark. They've been around. I think they maybe have had shots in like NXT or something, but they've had like some big pivotal moments, and they since those moments are like 10 times even better than they were then. So the way that they were 6 months ago, incredibly changed and talented, different now. Like these two guys are, I don't know what the hell AR Fox is doing out there. I don't know. I want to see like one of his training classes, like with my own eyes, because the amount of tremendous people coming out of here is crazy. And these guys are along with that. This tag match, though, was just the great tag match shit that you would want to see from independent wrestling. Culture Inc. jumping out of the sky, doing things. I want to see them I want to see them in tag matches with Top Flight and Private Party, like right now, because they put together tag moves like those guys do. When Eli does a drop kick, we'll talk to Kevin Knight. These Knight brothers, I think it's just the Knights with this drop kick. We interviewed Kevin Knight coming very soon to Grapsity interviews, and we talked about his drop kick, but Eli Knight's drop kick is on the same fucking level, the way that the height that he gets on it. But this tag match is just like that shit that I love. Spot foo. People are flying everywhere. Fans gotta get out the way. The move sets are wild. I love the way that these young guys are taking what's traditional and making it better. They're taking what's traditional and putting their own spin on it. And they are doing things that we haven't seen before. It's pretty amazing. This is a great tag match on a great show. Action Wrestling has been putting on a lot of quality shows it's been years and years. I don't even know if I saw a show from them last WrestleMania weekend, but 2 WrestleMania weekends ago, I saw a really amazing show from them. And since then, they've been doing amazing things. So I want everybody to catch it. Action Wrestling. This was from the Lords of Chaos show, also featured on IWTV. If you don't have an IWTV subscription, what are you doing?
Yep. Yeah. All the things you said, the best way I like watching the match, the thing that stood out to me was just, it was no matter which team was on offense, it was like perpetual motion.
Yes. It was all just,
it was
fast. These guys really put together the fucking moves. The tag team shit is like, this is what the Young Bucks were talking about when they wanted tag team wrestling to move forward.
Like, I don't know how tall the dudes in the skull are, but they definitely look like they're pretty tall fellows.
Yeah, no, there's some big guys.
And Eli hit a shotgun drop kick,
mm-hmm.
like to the actually face, like headshot with it, which I'm like, how are you this high in the air, sir?
He's a tall, young, lanky guy, though, for sure. He has to be in the 6s at a minimum, I think.
Oh, for sure. But I'm just like, things I'll never do.
I wish I can drop kick that high, dude. That shit would be crazy.
If I could jump half that high, I'd probably, actually, I wouldn't be able to do shit. I'd get hurt. I'm so clumsy. No.
Drop kicks are nuts, too. Sometimes when they do the big, like, missile drop kick, like Bryan Danielson takes the big missile drop kick, like, to the back bump, and I'm like, bro, that hurts, man. Like, protect yourself. But it's Bryan Danielson, greatest of all time. My next match here was from a company. I want to shout out J Rose, because J Rose has been doing a lot of tremendous things for a long time in this space. When I was first introduced to him, he was just a ring announcer, but this guy does so much more. Sometimes he wishes he was just a ring announcer with how many things he does. But this is a company out of Indianapolis, Indiana, called Naptown. This was the show Out the Gate. Happened very recently. You can also watch it on IWTV. Naptown's a young upstart, very forward-thinking, trying to revolutionize the wrestling business, not trying to go with the norms of what's presented. A super talented, hungry young roster, filled from top to bottom with wrestlers that just want to make it and just are doing everything they can to be the next up. This match that I'm recommending though from the show features some people that you probably are getting more familiar with. One of the guys we're definitely very familiar with, Lee Moriarty, AEW wrestler, one of the best technical wrestlers. He hates when I say that. One of the best all around hybrid wrestlers. I'm sorry, Lee. One of the best hybrid wrestlers in the world. He does all the different things, everything that you would love. He's wrestled CM Punk. He's wrestled Bryan Danielson. He's with Stokely Hathaway on a weekly basis with Big Bill Morrissey. He's a TV wrestler, man. That's a different thing. That's just that's a different monster, different machine. And here he's taken on someone with the rocket strap to their back. It's been crazy. It's been interesting because I was talking with I think maybe it was Ask Rhapsody or something, but someone was asking about Billy Starks, and they were like, "Oh, do you think she should sign to AW or blah blah blah?" And Will Washington was like, "She has so much time to develop. Like she can." Like if she signed in 10 years, it still would be, it still would be something because she just turned 18. Like she's a brand new, she's not like, she hasn't, like I tweeted a couple days ago, she hasn't even an inch close to her prime. Like her prime is so far away. Like she doesn't have to be signed right now. And she's already tremendously good. She just came back from Japan.
Yeah.
So this match here with Lee Moriarty is great because they have a relationship. If you know anything about Billy Starks and Lee Moriarty, Mouse, Billy Starks' dad, photographer, he's in. They have the brand, Big Starks brand, and so they are connected. We've all watched Billy Starks grow up before our eyes, but Lee Moriarty's like been there, and so Billy Starks is coming off so many wins from Japan, being on AEW TV, having matches with Britt Baker, being the Black Label Pro champion. Like she has all these accomplishments right now. She's been destroying it every single week. And to have a showdown with that person I just described, who's a TV wrestler now, he's on TV, he's getting paid to travel the world and be featured on TNT and TBS. And so there's a lot that in the build up to this match to get to where it was. Lee Moriarty came in cocky as hell because he's with Stokely Hathaway now. He has to be different. He's walking in with a different swag. You could just feel it. You're like, oh yeah, this guy, of course he is.
He was so arrogant.
He was. He's like coming in. He's like laying down in the ring at points and just like so. Like if you watched the Lee Moriarty match from like a year ago, the Takeshita match we described, way different guys. You would think like it feels like two different wrestlers, which is great though. But you knew that Lee was going to come in kind of playing the bully type, the bigger, older brother type.
But like, but only in like personality type. Because the way he was doing everything, it's still like he's still doing. It's still Tiger style.
He's gotten better because everything looks. He's always been a great wrestler, but like now it looks like he really means it, which is. I guess that's the point that you want to get as a pro wrestler. He's always meant it, but it's like you can really, really, really feel it now. I love that position that Lee has gotten to. He's really come into who he is. He's gotten to the gym. His psychology's different. He's been working on his promo skills. He's been putting out great videos. He's been doing all these things to become the best Lee Moriarty that he can be, and he is there. In this match right here, he's playing a bully role. He's trying to just take over Billy Starks, but we know Billy Starks, and Billy Starks doesn't fuck around. She don't take that shit. She doesn't care who you are, dude. She's gonna come up head up and want to throw forearms and want to drop you on your fucking head. And this is exactly what happened there. She's gonna want to hit you with the pump kick. The heart of Billy Starks. We're gonna be watching her and Nick Wayne wrestle each other and wrestle for so many years going forward here. The future of professional wrestling is in great hands all around. The things that she was doing here in this match, you can already see the work that she did in Japan, the work that she's doing in AEW. It's all there. Like she's taking everything and learning. She's just a sponge everywhere she goes. She really looks like, if you watch again, describing these young people. You watch Billy Starks from 6 months ago, and you watch her now. You're like, whoa, this is a totally different wrestler. How has she gotten better already? And she's only 18 years old. So she was on display here with her and Lee. Lee ended up getting the victory. You know how it goes with those TV wrestlers. They can't be jobbing out, blah blah blah. I hate it.
No.
It sucks.
No, not unless Big Bill himself, comes out and like
Exactly.
lays you out
Big
for
Bill Morrison.
tying your TV angle into the indie show.
I hope not. Don't do that. Don't listen to Mike. Just ignore that part he just said.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely check out Naptown. They have put on some amazing shows under a lot of pressure. Feels like every time they have a show, something crazy happens, and they still happen to put out amazing content. Shout out to Jay Rose. I want to talk to him in long form very soon. And my last match, fifth and final match, featuring a guy that I just, when people are like, who's the guy? Who's next up? I strap everything to this guy. He's the one for me. Yeah. If I have to, my number one draft pick right now, Swisher House sponsored, Texas Screwed Up, Brian Keith, the bounty hunter. I interviewed him too the same day that I interviewed Kevin Blackwood. Also, another thing, I'm just dropping all these things. I'm just talking like I don't care about nothing. I don't know why I'm doing this. It's fine, whatever. I love it. It's great. It's great content that's going to come out. Okay, you guys. Yeah. But Brian Keith is on a run like no other. There's this thing about independent wrestling when the big boys come calling, and it's even crazier now because AEW loves independent wrestlers as you are, which is like a different level of like anybody from the independent wrestling scene could possibly be a TV wrestler in a week or whatever, you never know. And so when there's a thing where WWE or AEW or anybody just come and jack the independent wrestler and get all the best guys, you're like, well, who's going to be next? Like what's going to happen? And when people say that independent wrestling is dead, that's always so funny because no, this is like the greatest recovery business there is because wrestlers are always training. There's never a moment where wrestlers not training, which means there's always going to be more, and they're not getting worse. They're all getting better. Like we're talking about an 18-year-old wrestler right now. That's insane. And that, you know what I mean? Like, it's so like, the independent wrestling business is going to keep going forever because there's always going to be some great wrestlers in whatever region. And so there was a point where independent wrestling got, a lot of the big boys got snatched away. And I was wondering who would be some of the people that were next up. Talked a little bit about Kevin Blackwood earlier. And I think on that list also is Brian Keith, because every time we see the shows that we see when the Brian Keith match is happening, we're stoked for him. I think we've only been upset about Brian Keith and James Storm. I think that's the only time we were like, I don't know about this one.
Why'd James Storm have to win that one, man?
See, Mike is still triggered.
Like, no.
See,
no, I disagree.
Exactly. See,
Brian
still
Keith
triggered. Still triggered.
I get it though. It was his hometown.
Mike is still triggered. Say I can't bring it up. That's exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, right here, as far as Texas wrestling goes, Brian Keith is on fire right now. When he told me in this interview who he trained with, who he's been training with, seeing his style, like it made so much. Like when he said it, I was like, oh, like it just like it was like, of course. And I'll reveal that in the magazine. That's how I get you guys to go get it. But the person that he's been training with, when you see it and you know that that's where he's taking this from, and that's why he's becoming the wrestler that he's came, you're like, damn, that's crazy. And here in Texas, against another person who's been having an incredible run, also from Texas, also has been over in Japan doing some amazing things in Pro Wrestling Noah, it's Dante Leon. Dante Leon, the way that he does everything is crazy. The way that he maneuvers in the ring, he's like, it's like, I don't want to say it because he probably gets this comparison a lot, but young boy Jeff Hardy, like he really gives off young Jeff Hardy vibes. The way that he moves, the way that he flips, the way that he gets in and out of shit. I'm really like, damn, like when the Hardy Boys were on like Omega and like early Jeff Hardy, like this is what This is how he was getting down. Dante Leon's like that. He has this crazy finish, fucking flip,
Yeah.
uh, Ace Crusher that has became popular on NXT with Soruka. Shout out to her. Now she's a black wrestler now, so I have to talk positively about her. So shout out to her. She's cool. Right here in this match, two Texas amazing people. Dante Leon's been a champion over in Pro Wrestling Noah. Him and Ninja Mac have been doing these crazy ass matches that we've been seeing over here in America. Over there, just like blowing people's minds. And so going into this match, I had heard online people were talking about this match. That's why I specifically wanted to go and check it out. That these guys like really put one together, and Brian Keith got Dante Leon to fight his match, but Dante was keeping up though. Like he was in there striking with like it wasn't just like Brian like dominating and fucking him up. Like Dante was like really in there wrestling a hard hitting style. I don't know if it's because he's been in Japan with them hard hitting motherfuckers out there. Like maybe he's picked something up, but it looks like it because
probably a
in
little.
this match, man, he was really giving it up. I didn't expect him to work like he was working here.
I'm like looking at my notes. I'm like, did I share my Google Doc with Reg with the notes? What?
Yeah, man, it really like it shocked me. I was like, oh, I didn't expect Dante to like really been like he's like in there face to face, nose to nose with Keith. Like, no, like I got my shit. Like I work this really cool different style, but like if you want to go, like we can go. And this was awesome. I think maybe that I guess that's the epiphany in my head is like he's been in Japan. Like you got to throw out there. Like it can't be all flash out there because they're gonna humble you very quickly if you are trying to bring that shit over in Japan. So yeah, he's brought back some of that Japan fire, and it was on display here. Just like I was talking about, it's funny that I interviewed Blackwood and Brian Keith in the same day because they are very similar and they have a lot of the same goals. Also, very interested in going over to Japan is Brian Keith, and so to see how Dante Leon brought that his shit back and Brian Keith took it, and Brian Keith just got his shot. Brian Keith is just such an amazing striker. The way that he does his power bombs, the way that he does his tiger driver, the way that he kicks you, all the things that he does, he just has it right. He has the best facials. That he has everything that's needed. I think he really is putting it together. He's put it all together. Like he's working at the perfect spot, I think, right now. Just a tremendous talent who ended up getting the win right here against Dante Leon. But Dante Leon brought all of his shit that you would love here. This was a great match, man. New Texas Pro versus Loco. They've been doing these contender shows, showcasing a lot of these contender series shows, like showcasing a lot of Texas's best. And this was like Texas versus Texas, just some awesome wrestling. Texas is on fire. I've said it many times here that they've been one of the best regions in professional wrestling for a long time.
Yeah. I looked at the rest of the card for this too, and I saw like Mysterious Q and shit, and I'm like, oh man, all right, well, I'm gonna have to go back and probably watch this whole show. Honestly, there's some good shit going on in Texas.
It's crazy.
This I actually almost took GIF of the week from here. It was the DDT. Standing on the chair. In the first row into the second row. That shit. That was.
Keith has been utilizing the DDT pretty well. It's again, I guess it's a recurring theme of people just kind of like remixing these traditional moves into being some amazing thing. It's really great to see, man. I fucking love some young professional wrestling whippersnappers trying to change the game.
Absolutely. All right, so that was year 5. Those were crazy.
It was a lot of great wrestling.
I had a good time. I had a good time doing it this way. I like this. I like this 5 match format now because, unlike myself, who I only have 3 different shows with 5 matches, I got 5 different shows with 5 matches from you, and I'm going to have I've already seen 2 of the shows anyway, but I have 3 like whole shows I have to watch now,
right?
Because just based off these 2 matches,
it's fun.
Yeah. So we're going to get now into my 5 picks,
Yes.
and we talked about him a little bit earlier, but I want to talk about Kevin Blackwood some more because he had a match at C4 Wrestling in Ottawa.
Mm,
Love C4 Wrestling. They're
amazing.
so near and dear to me as a Canadian. They're one of the best indies we have up here in the Great White North.
They're the
And
top Canadian indie?
I would say for me they are.
Yeah.
Like Demand Lucha is really good. Destiny's really good. New in
Mhm.
DC is really good.
I don't know if it's just because like I
Um,
really fucks with C4 that I see their stuff the most, but yeah, I guess they're up there. But I just really fucks with them, so I always see their shit. So it feels like they're like really doing their thing up there.
th- this this match is kind of an example of the kind of
Mm-hmm.
why I love them so much.
Mm-hmm.
We had Stu Grayson versus Kevin Blackwood. Kevin Blackwood defending the C4 championship against Stu Grayson, who is a native of Ottawa, Ontario. This is his
Mm-hmm.
hometown. We, I like, I love. Again, C4 has brought me so many wrestlers like Stu, Uno, Mike Bailey, Josh Alexander,
Yep.
Ethan Page wrestled there. Uh, there's just so much good Canadian talent that comes through C4, and they come back like constantly. Stu has been wrestling there regularly since he's stopped appearing on TV,
Mm-hmm.
and it's great because he's just getting all these matches with all this indie talent that's out there now, and the pool of it's so good. He wrestled Eddie Kingston up there last summer for their cancer charity show,
Yep.
and that was at least the best match I watched in August last year.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, him and Kevin Blackwood for the C4 championship, and we got a 60-minute time limit draw here.
Mm. They went the whole limit.
When they went the whole thing, they went the whole thing. It was a no count out, no disqualification match.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't go like crazy on plunder or anything. They really just wrestled the fucking shit out of each other for an hour. It
Mm-hmm.
was, and it's Stu, who is one of the strongest dudes, and Kevin Blackwood, the magnificent striker.
Right.
They were kicking and beating the shit out of each other. There was some wild dives to the outside. Um, they played around with Kevin Blackwood trying to hit the double stomp, and Stu was like dodging him, countering him out of it, hitting anti-airs on him.
Mm-hmm.
But everything you wanted in the 60-minute match. Like they started out striking for the beginning, and then once they kind of wore each other down through the strikes, they started to get like more physical. You saw more power moves on the fatigued opponent, and it just had all the good elements of the 60-minute match. Like you had
Mm-hmm.
the drama of like there was the longer it goes on, every fall and like every pin attempt is just like, oh, this could be the one. We're
Right.
we're half an hour in, we're 40 minutes in, and then just playing around with the fatigue, desperation on both sides. It was fantastic. Kevin Blackwood retains the C4 championship because of
Mm-hmm.
this. So
60
I want
minutes,
to
man. That is tough.
I want to see them go 60 more. Give him an Iron Man match for that thing. I'd love that.
Yes. I love how because when I was talking about Kevin Blackwood and his way, uh how he took over as one of the independent wrestling companies, one of the independent wrestling's best. The stuff that he's doing in C4 is a big reason why I think he opened a lot more eyes, because he just went up there and started working, you know what I mean? Just like put his nose down and was just like, no, look at what I'm doing up here. I'm wrestling
Mhm.
Jonathan Gresham. I'm doing these 60-minute matches. I'm one of the top guys up here. And I think people took notice from there. And also with Stu Grayson earlier on that the Prestige Wrestling show, his longtime tag team partner Evil Uno took on Jacob Fatu, and he did some tremendous things in there. So they're still, even though they are apart, doing some great things.
Yeah, I'm hoping Stu can do some U.S. travel.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
There's so many matchups south of the border that or alternatively Prestige, please, or C4. I mean, please keep bringing amazing dudes from America for Stu to go toe to toe with,
Right.
and just get out there and cook with.
Hmm.
I'm happy either way, but
Right.
I'd love to see Stu get to go around to
Go around. He should. He's really good. He's been really good for a long time too.
yeah. So that was my first one. My next one, we will. I might bounce back and forth between a couple of shows here because. But my next one will do Aaron Rourke and Rex Lawless from Beyond Wrestling might snow this some northeast, an up and comer and a more tenured wrestler in Rex Lawless. Nice little clash of styles here because we have Rex, the giant powerhouse, who runs up anybody in the Northeast. He'll pick anybody up over his head, but then also
big dude,
but also fast as fuck, athletic, gets up in the air. Like he's what's the baseball expression? I don't know. It's like
RBI. I don't know.
Five tool player. Oh wait, no. Anthony Bowens had that. He can't. No, never mind. You can't have that, Rex Lawless. But you can do it all, dude.
You're really good, Rex.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, can't steal.
Baseball puns or not.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't watch baseball. Do people watch baseball?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's pretty popular. World Series and shit. I don't know. I couldn't. I could tell you it's some teams, but I couldn't tell you any of the players.
I'm Canadian. We have one team. They disappoint every year, I think. So we did some cool things in the '90s.
Yeah, cool logos and colors.
Yeah, true. I don't know. Yeah, Toronto sports. It's a weird place. But Aaron Rourke is he's mind blowing to me. He's someone who I've only recently started to see more through like Wrestling Open and like Limitless and stuff like that up in the Northeast, beyond that, and beyond, and the amount of athleticism he has, it's just like he looks like a physically fit dude, and you just like I didn't expect what I got from him. Like he's doing some. The Code Red he finished Rex with in here out of he countered it. He got into it out of countering out of Rex had him up for a choke bomb, and he hooked his legs around and got Rex into a Code Red, and that's what he put him away with, and that kind of shit. I just wasn't expecting the high flying and stuff out of him. Wasn't expecting I like seeing this. It was it's one of the first times I've seen Aaron Rourke outside of a little bit of Wrestling Open, so I had to put this one in here. Also, Willow was cracking me up on commentary with this one the whole time. Rex is it's no secret Rex is her man, so
I thought you were gonna say Rex is a lucky man, and I was gonna be like, yeah, he is.
Yeah,
don't murder me, Rex. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, say it, but from really far down the street.
Yeah, exactly. With the megaphone. You're really lucky.
I don't know though. He's like I said, he's fast as fuck. He'll probably catch himself.
I'll just tweet it. He'll never see me.
Yeah. There we go. Just don't go to Massachusetts, Reg. You're good. Yeah. Don't go to Boston.
I think we'll be okay.
Yeah. Next match I want to talk about though, we got one of the more innovative styles out of both wrestlers. This was what every dance battle scene in a movie should ever be. Like Desmond Cole and Chris Brady. I was so entertained.
I love Desmond Cole, man. He's great.
The big boofa. Fantastic. And the thing I like about this, so both of these guys do something that I always appreciate, and it generally makes me really want to watch people wrestle again, is when they do regular stuff, but in their own very unique way.
Yeah, definitely.
And both Chris Brady and Desmond Cole do this better than anyone I've seen in a while. I feel like, at least, well, just from this show, there was nothing else on the card like it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and again, the dancing in between everything, they were like
Mm-hmm.
both had something to prove to each other the whole time.
Right.
Desmond Cole hits the biggest swanton ever. Like, I don't know what it like. The White Eagle, everyone seems to just be able to jump really high off of their top
Seriously,
rope.
something's
Like,
going on out there.
something like that ring between Eli Knight now and
Mm-hmm.
Desmond Cole. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
everyone just jump, and then also, like, it's the same ring from Wrestling Open, and like I've seen the things that Dustin Waller and Kylon King do.
Yeah.
That ring has magic powers with the top rope.
Kylon hit a big moonsault too off there recently. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the White Eagle. I think it's something in there. Something's in the air.
Yeah, it's just like everything both of these guys did through this match, though. It was like there's just such a unique way of modifying their moves and make them feel special, and like you're watching somebody do like their own thing.
Yeah, I love that.
It's like there's like a little extra roll or like a flip, or even with both of them, because of the dancing, they're like a little shake of the hips or something that just it spices everything up. And then you pair the two of them together, and they both have kind of like similar styles, but it didn't, like, it was the constant need to one up each other throughout the match, the amount of shit talking and like audience participation. And the thing I like watching shows at the White Eagle is the crowd they get in there is always super engaged, really enthusiastic. They come up with some of the most bizarre chants. My God, my neighbor's just bumping. I'm sorry. That shit just caught me so off guard. But yeah, they just put something together here that was just really creative and special and stood out from everything else on the show, which was a crazy show. I have one more match from it on here. But yeah, so again, that was like Chris Brady and Desmond Cole.
That that crowd is starting. They are one of the top 5 crowds in independent wrestling right now. So that's like a coveted thing, because that if you got a rocking crowd, that's going to make more wrestlers want to come work, and that just makes every environment better if there's a rocking ass crowd.
Yeah, like Chris Brady's from California. Like that's he's coming in for that.
Right.
And shit, the next matchup I have from this show, if you want to talk about people coming from a long way and working regularly, main event, they're from the Northeast, but they took on Best Bros, which is Valiant Aki and Mei Saruga, and they are coming from Japan.
Yes.
And Valiant Aki is like, the way him and Mei Saruga work together, it's just the coolest combination, because he is jacked as shit and very strong, and Mei Saruga is a smaller girl, and the way he weaponizes her,
right,
like and the way they just play off of each other, he's swinging her around, throwing her around. They did a hilarious spot here where she was up in the electric chair on his shoulders, and she chokeslammed, I think it was Jay Lyon, from his shoulder, which again, it's like they've found a way to utilize like the best bits of both of them to come up with something completely unique that no one else is doing the stuff that I've seen them do. Which brings me actually to I got it right this time. I'm so proud of myself. Let's look at this crazy ass Dolphin Star Press.
Yes.
And this is like the best way to describe the whole match is, and because the main event are really fucking good at this too, where they have a smaller dude in ringleader Midas. They have Jay Lyon, who is, I guess we could call him like the base demigod.
Mm-hmm.
He's
He's
both of
good.
the both teams have this ridiculously innovative double team offense
Mm-hmm.
that they've managed to craft using the best bits of everything that they have available.
Right.
And because of it, like again, it's like okay, you paired these two tag teams together, and both of them happen to be like wildly innovative and doing all this. It's like double team hijinks is the
Right.
best. Like the whole match was, exchanges between, like there was almost not really a point in the match. I think where I felt like there was like at least three people in the ring more often than anything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like I don't even care. Throw the rules out the window. Like I'm not gonna sit here and be like, "Oh, 5 count, ref." Like no, fuck that shit.
Get in there, Rick Knox.
No, fuck that. Feed me all the crazy double team shenanigans. All four of you get in there. I don't care. Texas
It's a tag
Tornado.
match, dude. What's wrong with y'all? Come on.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's what we all watch them for anyway. It's like
Yeah, come
nobody's
on. I hate when
no
they try to talk that shit. Like, if
nobody's
the ref was in there telling everybody to get out, there wouldn't be any cool tag team moves ever happening. You'd be counting people out so fast.
yeah, like nobody's popping for someone having a guy in like a fucking chin lock and he's like, "Oh, wow, he's really isolating him from his partner over there."
Yeah, we don't want
This
that.
is what I love.
Don't
It's
want
like, no, I want to see somebody fucking turn his tag team partner into a standing shooting star press out
it.
of a
Exactly.
wheelbarrow.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
That's what I want to see. And I don't want the referee to be in the way. I want him to be out of the way so I can see the move.
I want the guy named Ringleader to
Mhm.
hold up a hoop at the
Mhm.
rope, and then his lucha partner who has a lion mask on to jump through the hoop and do a tope suicida through it.
Yes.
Like that's what
Mhm.
I want with my tag team wrestling. Thank you
Mhm.
to both Best Bros and to Main Event.
Mhm.
Best Bros they did a lot of wrestling at Wrestling Open during their most recent trip over. So if you watch that on IWTV, you'll see a lot of them on recent episodes,
Mhm.
and then on Beyond Might Snow, which was where this match was from again. But they've traveled back to Japan now, so I really hope they come back soon.
Yeah.
Man. And like Balianaki and Mace Ruga were also doing a lot of like singles work out here too.
Mhm.
But
Working hard. They're on AEW TV, all kind of stuff.
Yeah. So
And the main event has been having a pretty good run too. I think if I saw them, I wouldn't be surprised to see them on TV very soon, like anywhere,
Yeah.
honestly, because that act I think will translate, and the way that they do the rings and all the shit I think could work.
It's really interesting as I look through the list of all the matches we talked about today that Culture Inc. is on here, Main Event is on here. In my last match, I have one half of another team on here that they all went pretty deep into the IWTV tag team title tournament.
Right.
It's but then also their opponents were like not at all teams that were part of it either. So there's so many good tag teams out there in the independents, and
there's a lot.
I know part of like it's tough with getting tag teams to travel because like for a promoter it's twice the rate and expense to fly people out and stuff like that. But some of these I wish we could get some more interterritorial tag matches.
Same here.
Beyond and Wrestling Open and like the whole Northeast really their tag team scene is very spicy.
Right. Yeah. Tremendous.
One half of those teams being Dustin Waller.
Mm-hmm.
This is the last match I wanted to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Dustin Waller, one half of Miracle Generation, or really 1/4 of Miracle Generation.
Right.
It's actually a 4-piece stable, but him and Kylon King tag together. They tag as Miracle Generation. You see them every week on Wrestling Open. The last 12 months for them has basically been just like it's another rocket strap to the back situation.
Yeah, totally.
Um, they actually, they're the Eliminator Cup, the Saturn and Cronus Eliminator Cup Tag Team
Mm,
Champions, which they
yeah.
defend at Wrestling Open. I believe they're also the Blitzkrieg Tag Team Champions.
Oh.
I have to double check that. Um, yeah, Dustin Waller was
They're
wrestling
coming over here too, to West Coast Pro. I'm excited about that. Super
Yes.
excited about that.
Who are they? Do we know who they're wrestling yet?
I don't think they've announced their opponents yet, but I'm
I really,
stoked on that.
I really hope it's Zoe and Midas.
Mm. I don't know. I'm super excited about
Honestly, just bring Ichiban out and let the.
what Adrian Quest and his crew are gonna do in West Coast Pro. I'm excited to see where that leads to. So there's gonna be some great shit in the future here.
Yeah, we'll talk about them in a couple minutes anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so we had Dustin Waller wrestling Leo Rush. This is kind of like a statement comeback, sort of, for Dustin Waller. Not a comeback, but it's he has something to prove. That's what I'm looking for there. He was in a scramble at GCW with Leo that Leo Rush was also involved in, and Waller got hurt in that match. Everyone was like pretty concerned with it for him, and then at Restival, like just a few weeks ago now, the semifinal match for the IWTV tag titles, they wrestled Culture Inc. And on their finish, Waller was looking to hit a cutter, and they didn't quite hook it up properly, I guess. Like there was just some like misalignment of where people's heads were, and they basically came down like face to face, and he split his eyebrow open for
bad.
It was like 25 stitches or something like that. I think I saw is what he posted, and yeah, that thing was like open. It's
nasty.
Like, thanks for posting the photo on Twitter.
Yeah, gross. And then thanks, Mike, for telling me to go look at the photo. The shit was nasty.
If I've got to see it, everyone's got to see it. That's can't help it.
Right.
But so it was kind of like a chance at redemption for Waller to get his one-on-one with Leo Rush. You know he had something to prove the whole time here, and then Leo Rush obviously is coming at this from the more experienced, tenured side,
but still also with something to prove though, based off recent things that have happened with him. Like people are looking at him still as like, oh, is he gonna retire again, or like whatever bullshit things that they're gonna say. And I think he's on a redemption run. I think at this point. So
yeah, he's showing up everywhere too, which is
I'm excited.
Like, he was he's like CZW this weekend, isn't
he? Yeah. I think he's doing a match with Rich Swann, which is gonna be super cool. That's so great that they that's gonna happen, man. I'm excited about that. I have to watch that. That's gonna be on my list probably whenever the match happens. That'll be on my list for sure.
Yeah, I got to figure out how to watch that one because I fucking love Rich Swann.
And then he's coming to West Coast Pro also.
What? Yeah. Leo Rush?
Leo is April 7th.
Mm-hmm.
April 7th, home of the Killers.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
Yes. Yes.
Scott, I love you.
Yes. Yeah. Right. It's gotta be Leo. It's gotta be Leo and Titus too.
Yeah. I gotta go back to this match though. So yeah. Waller, it was just again, it's kind of reminded me never mind. But the way they kind of pulled this off though, with like Leo Rush was always kind of like a step ahead of Dustin Waller in the match, at least early on. It was a lot of like everything Waller did, Leo Rush would find a way out of it. He's kind of taunting him, he's faster than him, he's more agile than him, ducking out of things and escaping everything he's attempting. But Waller eventually, he fought from behind a lot early, and then he caught up. And when they started to, because Wrestling Open has traditionally a 10-minute time limit on matches, and then in the main event, 20 minutes, unless it's like a special circumstance. Sometimes they had an Iron Man match recently, so but so we had 20 minutes for this one, and again, it's kind of reminding me almost a little earlier with like, we're talking about like desperation wise with the 60-minute match we had with Kevin Blackman's Stu Grayson, but it
Mhm.
was like they somehow managed to like they condense all of that emotion into just this 20-minute window. And especially because Dustin Waller is so beloved in the White Eagle, he's, they they basically from the nearly weekly match that he's had at Wrestling Open every week for the last year, you've literally just seen this rise out of him,
Right.
both in terms of his capabilities in the ring, like he's grown in front of your, which is props to Wrestling Open
Mhm.
for being a weekly independent show
Yep.
because it allows for stuff like that where
Mhm.
you can, instead of seeing somebody wrestle maybe like once or twice a month, um, or even less depending on what shows are streamed and whatnot, we're getting like a week. It's almost like you see like a weekly like progress report almost of
Yeah.
everyone. Alec Price is another one.
It's reps.
Ryan Clancy, Channing
Mhm.
Thomas.
Mhm.
But yeah, Miracle Generation, like Kylon and Dustin both,
Mhm.
because Kylon is phenomenal.
Yeah, he's really good.
That's like just the two of them together as a tag team is
Mhm.
someone, or people that I like. I feel so bad about Dustin Waller getting his eyebrow busted because it changed probably the entire dynamic. Like
Mhm.
Kylon King had to wrestle Violence is Forever in the
Right.
finals of the
Mhm.
IWTV tag title tournament in a handicap match, essentially,
Right.
because Waller literally wasn't allowed, like his eye was fucked.
Mhm.
So, and they still built a great handicap match out of that, but
Right. It should have been the straight up tag match though. Yeah.
that straight up tag match, like
Mhm.
I can't wait to see Miracle Generation get a shot at those belts. I hope
Mhm.
if they are to one day win them, that it happens in the White Eagle, because
Has to.
that place would
Mhm.
there'd be no roof at the end of the show.
Mhm. It's got to. Only way.
I think my Canadian accent just came out when I said show. I like caught it there. I was like, show. Fuck.
You're Canadian. You don't have to forget it. Try to not have it.
Well, I know, bud. Fuck. I it's like I don't actually I'm not
That's
aware of it.
funny. Yeah.
I've had people like
I
I
know,
play,
but I don't really like a lot of times I don't hear it.
like I play a lot of video games online,
Mhm.
and I've been in like random voice calls with people and stuff, for gaming purposes. And I've had people be like, "Are you Canadian?" I'm like, "How the fuck can you tell?" Like I don't sound the same as somebody from like Michigan.
Right. Yeah.
It's like is there's a difference? And they're like,
Mhm.
"Yeah, it's the way you said some." I don't fucking hear it. Like it's
That's hilarious.
like, is this what it feels like to be British?
I think so. You're like, what? This is just my regular voice. What do you mean?
Yeah. Yeah. What do you mean? We don't sound any different, you and I.
Right.
But yeah,
So funny.
I definitely wanted to give some love to this match.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't talk too much about Leo Rush because we probably all know who Leo
Yeah,
Rush
we
is
all
and
know
what
who
he's
Leo Rush
about.
is.
Like, but Dustin Waller
Mhm.
is, again, like his versatility too. Like being able to have this quality of a match with a dude like Leo Rush. He'll also give you just as good of a tag match. They do trios with Ichiban as well.
Mhm.
The Miracle Ones. Uh, Ichiban is another fantastic Northeast area
Really
wrestler.
good. Really good.
Um, he only says Ichiban and number one. That's it. And every time, like when he goes to pin someone in a match and the crowd's counting along, they count one, one, one. Everything is only a one count. They'll just they'll do it 5 times for the rope break, and they'll yeah I you got to watch Wrestling Open on Thursdays. It's on right now. Like we're gonna tell you some shows that are coming up this
Mhm.
weekend that you can catch, and then go watch IWTV Wrestling Opens on, or go to Fight Plus and watch Wrestling Revolver, A Night at the Moxbury. Both of those are on tonight. Uh, you know what? Let me look into those cards real quick.
Yeah, totally. Real
Shit.
time recommendations.
Yeah.
Wrestling Open. No, I wanted to before we finish up with Wrestling Open, whoever came up with that idea, just like you were saying, such a great fucking idea, man. Having wrestlers being able to get reps, having wrestlers be able to go every week in front of live crowds, in front of big streaming numbers, and be able to hone their craft has been. We've seen it in real time how great it's working. Like Alec Price and Dustin and and all these people.
But
we've seen it come up with our own eyes. We've seen that this works. It's really great.
But the other thing too, when you think about it, because really this is like Wrestling Open was birthed out of the fact that Uncharted Territory for 3 seasons was, in the same place weekly, and was that basically, except Wrestling Open now it doesn't. There's no seasons to it. It's every week of the year. But like they really kind of. And it's good now too, because Uncharted Territory, like you still have Wrestling Open happening every week up in the White Eagle, but then you also have Uncharted Territory going down in the South now, which gave that, like, everything that happened at that TWE building on Monday nights was heat for that, for the few months that was going on, and that really did a lot. Like that featured so much of AC Mac's title reign. It gave a great spotlight to. Billy Starks was wrestling there all the time, so you could see her every Monday. Adam Priest was getting featured regularly there. The South has a lot of good shit going on in it. I liked seeing Billy Starks teaming up with Billy Tipton for. I can't remember the name of their team, but it was a play on the fact that they were both named Bill. And like Kenzie Page and. Hunter Drake and stuff. It was, and again, like, the Broken Finleys, the Rico Gonzalez's.
Right.
I hope we get like another weekly thing somewhere on the West Coast, because that's another region where, we'll talk about. They're on Saturday, so we'll get there.
Tonight,
we're tonight. Revolver. Alex Shelley versus
We'll
Rich Swann. Evil Uno versus Jake Christ. Wheeler Yuta versus JT Dunn. Billy Starks is wrestling Ali Catch. There's a whole bunch of good shit on there.
That JT Dunn, that match is going to go off. That's going to be
Dan the Dad and Man Scouter wrestling Bullet Club, Chris Bay and Ace Austin. Like it's good matches all around. Wrestling Opens on tonight. They've got a lot of it's mystery card, so hit up their Twitter, you'll find the matches there. Friday, House of Glory has The Beginning in memory of Jay Briscoe. That's on Fight Plus. Garden State Pro Wrestling is back with another show tomorrow. They're streaming that on their YouTube channel, so go check that out. Saturday, you've got AIW, which is on Fight Plus with Josh Bishop wrestling Tom Lawler. Alec Price is on that show. Dom Garini's on that show. Isaiah Broner's on that show. There's DOA Pro Wrestling. The Future Is Now, which will be on IWTV. You've got Rebel Kell versus Dark Sheik for their title on there. Ethan HD, Sonico, Jaden. It's a good. That's a good West Coast show.
West Coast.
Also on Saturday though, you have West Coast Pro Wrestling.
West Coast Pro, baby. Yeah, I pulled up the link. I remember you saying that to have a weekly thing over here. Kind of a weekly thing. West Coast Pro is starting showcase from the coast in March, where it's going to be kind of along those lines. It's going to be a showcase show for independent wrestlers out here that aren't quite ready for West Coast Pro, or to show them that they are ready for West Coast Pro. So it's going to begin every Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I think they've announced that it's going to be on IWTV. I don't know if they have, but it's going to be broadcast somewhere and you'll be able to watch it. And it's going to be cool. So West Coast Pro, I've been giving it up today. I'm going to get in trouble, Mike. Damn, I just been like, what about this? What about this?
Yeah, that's that show's going to, I'm looking at the card for it and I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah, but I'm riding up to Sacramento.
Hey.
Yeah. To watch it.
I'm I'm looking at the card for that, and I'm like, you and I are gonna have to. We might have overlap on our list next week, or we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna have to like. All right, I'll let you have that one for yours because,
Titus and Nick Wayne's gonna
yeah,
probably be on both of our lists, I would think. Yeah.
I'll give it up to you. For no, who knows? Honestly, we'll probably both be able to go in pretty hard on that match. Like that,
Yeah, definitely. Exactly.
two of my favorite people to watch wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
You also
And
got
then the 6 men, the conglomerate, and
yeah,
Lee Moriarty against Kevin Knight, Jack Cartwheel, and Starboy Charlie. Right, that's
that's
all.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's an insane match right there. That's going to be. Kevin Knight is a great wrestler. He's trained out of the New Japan Dojo. Been doing some tremendous things with Kushida recently. So it's going to be cool to see him in person. I haven't seen Lee in a while in person. Well, I have at AEW, but I haven't seen him at an independent wrestling show like this in a while. So that's going to be super dope too. That's going to be a great match.
yeah, and also they have a qualifying match,
Mm-hmm.
number one contender match, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Masha Slamovich versus Brooke Havoc,
Mm-hmm.
and the winner of this match will meet Sandra Moon.
Yep.
And those two, Sandra Moon Sandra Moon awaits the winner of this match to
Mm-hmm.
determine who the first ever West Coast Pro Women's Champion
Mm-hmm.
is.
Very exciting times.
Yeah.
Which is leading to the super big, huge tournament coming in May, featuring whoever will be the West Coast Pro Women's Champion. The Queen of the Indies already got some super huge names announced. There's some great things surrounding it. If you're a pro wrestler and you're anywhere close to the Bay Area and you can get out to Pacifica, possibly, there's a huge opportunity for you, man or woman, to end up in Japan, along with what's going on with these Queen of the Indie shows. So it's going to be super huge weekend in May. That
Nicole Savoy is coming out of retirement for this.
Come on, man. Nicole, I wrote a retirement thing about her in PWI, giving it up to a tremendously talented person. I'm so happy that she's coming out of retirement for this tournament. This tournament already has some great things attached. Scott is not giving it up on his other little secrets that he's got. And so, yeah.
He's probably he's got some wild surprises that come out.
Always. He's always working.
And Vinny's probably just like, the budget.
Always working. Shout out to Vin.
Yeah, absolutely. Vin, he books many promotions, by the way. He books several promotions.
He books several promotions.
He does.
Vinny Massaro.
Well.
He books a lot of promotions.
Well. He does, and very well, though.
That son of a bitch, Vinny Massaro.
Love it.
So good.
And then, Sunday, CZW's on Sunday. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere. I
have to figure out the whole.
And I couldn't find
it. Yeah. I remember I told you earlier this week that I was going to do a CZW match, but honestly, I couldn't. Like, where am I supposed to find this? So I'm going to get to the bottom of where the fuck we're supposed to find these matches at. Yeah, right. That's a question.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to put out to CZW.
But yeah. Also on Sunday, on Fight pay-per-view, so not Fight Plus, but standalone, Hood Slam.
Hood Slam's this weekend. Oh, nice. Yeah. Hood Slam has a big show coming up. I think they're the live shows across the bridge in San Francisco. They've been doing some great things this last forever, but since they've been back through the pandemic, they've been having a lot of great stuff here in San Francisco, here in Oakland. So that's going to be a great show. When is the J Cup's not this weekend, right?
No, Jersey J Cup is
maybe next couple weeks. Yeah. So
it's coming up.
I just want. I'm like, because we definitely have to shout that out.
I feel like it's next. I hope it's not next weekend. Is it next weekend? When is it? Oh,
during the big football game.
I didn't even think about football. I don't watch football.
Yeah, me neither. I
don't really watch. Like, I watch it a little bit. I dabble in football. I mostly just watch it for the memes. Oh, it is. It's on the 11th.
So it's next week.
Next Saturday would be the Jersey J Cup.
Okay.
And it's over 2 sessions. So they have.
That's a part of Fight TV Fight Plus. I don't want to keep saying
Yeah, it's gonna
Fight
be
Plus.
it's all on Fight Plus.
Nice.
Which is interesting because this is it's GCW and JCW like co-promoting it.
Yeah, see, because I
So
had
it's
tweeted out
normally
that like I was like, oh, it's gonna be a free show, blah blah blah. But representatives from JCW were like, oh no, this one's gonna be paid because of the
yeah.
magnitude of everything going on. So that makes sense.
Like if you look at the lineup for it,
Mm-hmm.
a first round matchup is Mike Bailey versus John Gresham.
Yeah, that's first round.
Uh, my
That's
favorite,
first round.
my favorite wrestler Tony Deppen is wrestling Leo Rush.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Starboy Charlie and Joey Janela.
Did we get into WrestleMania announcements? We haven't gotten to WrestleMania
Oh my
weekend
god!
announcements.
Kota Ibushi.
Isn't this?
Kota
How did we
Ibushi.
get here? Kota Ibushi
Kota
is going to
Ibushi.
wrestle Speedball Mike Bailey at Bloodsport. I don't even know if you call that wrestling at Bloodsport. They're gonna fight at Bloodsport. Imagine the pent up frustration, Mike, that Kota Ibushi has had being stuck, injured in Japan, not being able to be on these big shows.
Yeah.
What do you think he's going to do or try to do to Speedball Mike Bailey here at Bloodsport?
Like to paraphrase from another American wrestler here, he'd probably kick his fucking head in if I had to guess. Like
Yep.
he's
Yeah.
he probably wants to make Mike Bailey look like the watermelon in Mike Bailey's announcement.
So totally. Yes, I would think so.
But then I'm also like I'm reading this I'm reading that Dark Pure Wrestler Flosion account.
Mm-hmm.
They seem to have like they've had some actual access to speaking with Ibushi.
Mm-hmm.
And he wants to wrestle like a more grounded and violent style. Like, okay. So maybe less
nervous for everybody that's going to wrestle him.
Like maybe no Phoenix Splash, but like when he hits the Kamigoye, you might actually lose your head.
I think that's what he's talking about.
I'm so scared. Like, and also
I'm nervous.
There's the like pent up anticipation of like who's he gonna wrestle at spring break. Like now I know he's coming. Now it's like who's he wrestling?
And also speaking of spring break, and also speaking of Speedball Mike Bailey, one-on-one with somebody we talked about on this show by Kingo. I can't even believe this. WrestleMania weekend is insane. And Mike Bailey, if you're watching this, rest your body, ice it. Just be careful out there because I know everybody's sending texts, emails. They're trying to get you. They want you to be in 25 matches. Careful out there, bro.
Was it you that tweeted out the
over under 10
wrestling?
Yeah,
10 matches.
Definitely over.
I think I'll put him over 10.
I think so too.
Because
he'll figure out a way.
Because Bloodsport's on Thursday, and I'm sure there's shows running all the way to Sunday.
There is.
So
he can get on 3 shows in a day for sure.
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh god,
it's crazy.
Yeah, Speedball and Big Kingo. Maki Ito is at the show too. Another announcement at the collective that they put out recently is Speedball and Mao are teaming up. Against Jordan.
That's
Oliver
right.
And Nick Wayne.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be fire.
Yeah, and that's just like what's announced between those couple of shows. There's like there's a bazillion shows happening.
There's so much stuff to announce. Still,
Timothy Thatcher's at Bloodsport. Johnny Bloodsport's coming back. Like
they got to get Brian Keith on Bloodsport though, for reals. My guy's got to be on there this year.
Oh man, I want it.
Yeah.
World on Lucha's happening too.
There's a lot. It's gonna be busy. I'm about to be out in LA, so.
We got Big Gay Brunch. There's for the cult. So Brian Keith's going to be out there for the culture already.
Yep.
So like, get him in Bloodsport. Well,
you got to get him at Bloodsport. I remember talking to him last year, WrestleMania weekend, being like, "Why aren't you on Bloodsport?" And he's like, "I want to be on Bloodsport." So hopefully this year he's on Bloodsport.
Brian Keith versus Too Cold Scorpio is going to kick so much ass.
It's going to be fire, dude. I love it.
Yeah,
so cool.
Myron Reed's there. Leo Rush is there. Like that card is.
It's going to be fun.
That card's going to be insane.
I'm excited.
There's a lot of great indie wrestling coming up. There's a lot of great indie wrestling that's going to be on this weekend. Check out some of the shows we told you about. If you see a show near you in your area, buy a ticket and consider checking it out. Go support your local promotions.
Yep.
I'm sure they would very much love to have your butt in their seats.
Yeah.
or like standing up and cheering and chanting "Holy shit!" Sending us a video of some shit. Both of our Twitters are there. Tag us in all your crazy gifts. Like we want to see all your gifts. Let us see.
Yeah, well, I need gifts of the week. So like, send me all the gifts, man.
Yeah.
I want flips. I want all the shits.
Tag us in all the gifts. Go find your favorite wrestler's social media. Go find their merch store link. Go buy some merch of theirs. Support all your favorite wrestlers.
Yep.
They're they're out there traveling out of their own pocket in a lot of cases too.
And support your favorite wrestling personalities too. Jordan Castle on the Wrestling Prestige. I sound like he was calling the show by himself, but he was going crazy. Veda Scott is a tremendous independent wrestling commentator, ring announcers, referees, all of them, everybody, man, everybody that's making the wheels turn, cameramen, camera people, you know what I'm saying.
GoPro, who probably do
GoPro.
GoPro
wrestling. GoPro wrestling. Yeah.
But
shout out to them.
I feel like they do. I feel like they do like almost every show that I watch now.
Yeah, seriously, at minimum.
Yeah. So
and then just like we're saying, Fight Plus, IWTV, High Spots has a thing. Pro Wrestling TV for free is really cool too. They got Warrior Wrestling shows that are super fun. Wrestling is everywhere, dude. If you can't find it, even for free, like even if you don't have anything, you can still find an immense amount of awesome wrestling for free.
Yeah, so many. Just have some promotion. Garden State's on YouTube tomorrow.
Yeah, see.
Yeah. But thank you very much for tuning in. You can find us both at all of our socials below. Do you have anything else for yourself you want to plug, Reg?
Grapsody.
Yeah. Watch
Grapsody. Saturday. It's on Fightful.
Yeah.
And this show, come back every week. We're going to have more. We're going to have interviews. We're going to have all the cool things attached to this. We're going to talk to some wrestling promoters, some wrestlers, some of those managers and referees, and all those things we're telling you about, because we want to shine a light on all the independent wrestling promotions. We talked about 150 wrestlers here today, so I think we're doing our job, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Let us know in the comments. But thank you so much for spending some time on Thursday night with us. Go watch Wrestling Revolver right now, or Wrestling Open, or something. Find some wrestling to watch. I don't know if there's like Impact on, I think.
Yeah.
Have a good night, everybody. Though we'll see you next week. We'll be on a little earlier on Thursday, but enjoy your week. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Bye.